And what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Historic Hot Laps. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, so we'll try to make it as condensed and informative as possible. But start your engines. We've got to dive into one of the headline moments of the 2025 motorsports calendar. That is the Formula One United States Grand Prix at Austin Circuit of the Americas. This race delivered big time with some championship implications, high drama, and a field that refused to quit. So let's break it down lap by lap. Max Verstappen translated his pole position into a dominant win, leading from the front and closing the gap to the championship standings. Behind him, a rigid fight for podium spots as Lando Norris edged out Charles Leclerc for second, fight full of tension and skill. The championship leader going into the weekend, Oscar Piastri, didn't have his best day, putting pressure back on his shoulders as the points battle gets tighter and tighter. At the start, Verstappen nailed the launch and held the lead cleanly. Leclerc got ahead of Norris for a moment before Norris battled back. Strategy-wise, the race largely fell into a one-stop pattern and tire management became key in the closing laps. Verstappen's team definitely executed on this one. Norris and Leclerc versus each other for P2 gave fans some heat. Meanwhile, Piastri's weekend unraveled just when you could least afford it. The finishing stretch there, Verstappen crossed the line nearly 8 seconds ahead of Norris. Leclerc held on for third. Piastri ended up fifth and saw his lead shrink away. This win tightened the championship battle. Verstappen is now much closer to Piastri and Norris. The title fight is much alive. For Norris and Leclerc, strong performance, but the inability to catch Verstappen shows there's still some gap to close. For Piastri, a wake-up call. If you're leading the title, you finish fifth at the must-win territory like Austin, you've got to reset and ramp it up. Track and event over there at COTA continues to be the centerpiece for Formula One in the United States. Crowds are huge, backdrop's awesome, and headline racing. Yes, the U.S. Grand Prix is locked in Austin through at least 2034, as we found out. If I had to pick one big takeaway from this race, momentum matters, right? Verstappen didn't just win, he made a statement. In a sport where the margins between champion and contender are razor thin anymore, this win at COTA could shift the mental edge that he needs. For others, you've got to be perfect, no off weekends, especially at key venues. You've got to keep fighting, and we'll watch this title hunt get a little tighter every time. Now, let's fire up some engines and take a full throttle dive into the action from Talladega Superspeedway weekend, covering all three of the National NASCAR series. You have trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. Superspeedway racing equals unpredictability, plus drafting madness, plus last lap heroics. So let's break it all down. We're going to start off with Friday's race, Craftsman Truck Series, Love's RV, stop 225. On that one, Gio Ruggiero from Tricon Garage. Ruggiero, a rookie, snagged his first career Truck Series win in dramatic fashion at Talladega. He held off fellow contender Corey Heim in overtime. He led 37 of the day's 90 laps and started on pole. Because the truck race is part of the round of 8, this win shakes up the playoff scenario. From the start, Ruggiero looked strong from pole sit and pace, but at Talladega, you're always one misstep, one pack away from carnage. Sure enough, the closing laps were chaotic, and in overtime, he showed poised to lead the final corner, hold off Heim, take the trophy. So for a rookie at a place like Talladega, that's huge. For the field, the weekend was about surviving the big one, managing drafting lines, and timing your push just right. Ruggiero got combo right. Other drivers who gamble on risk versus reward will be kicking themselves or applauding their smart calls. If you follow the Truck Series, put Ruggiero on your radar now. His first win plus playoff relevance equals a coming-of-age story. Also dressed for chaos as the Superspeedway events. Expect some surprise finishers. He really pulled out the stops on that one, and awesome to see him as a rookie get his win. Moving over to Saturday at the Xfinity Series, the United Rentals 250, you had the winner of Austin Hill over there at RCR. Hill dominated, leading 48 laps and winning both stages. He swept both Talladega Xfinity races this season, spring and fall. On a superspeedway in the round of 8, this kind of win is a major playoff positioning kind of race. Hill controlled the day. You have to think who will survive at superspeedways, but Hill turned it into who will dominate. Those RCR cars are great there. The draft worked great for him. He navigated traffic smartly, avoided wrecks, and when the closing laps came, he grabbed the moment. Other drivers gunning the championship for will look at this and say, yep, he's a threat. So, because he's already won the spring version of this event, the confidence factor is real. At these track, rhythm and experience definitely count. For the Xfinity fans, you got to keep watching Hill. If he's strong at these big tracks, he's not just racing for wins, he's contending. We know his penalty situation and everything for the playoffs, so that one's rough. But also, in Xfinity Superspeedway events, don't count out stage winners. They often have a lot of momentum. So let's move over to Sunday's race, the Cup Series, the Yellowwood 500, the playoff round of 8. Winner goes to Joe Gibbs Racing's Chase Briscoe. Runner-up with Todd Gilliland and Ty Gibbs in third. The race had 77 lead changes among 27 different drivers, which is absolutely wild. This win locks Briscoe into the championship 4. The finish came down to last lap moves. Briscoe's used a push from a teammate and Ty Gibbs edged Gilliland by 0.15 seconds. Several playoff drivers also fell short. Some crashed, some couldn't keep up pace for the draft. Big swing moments. I mean, super speedways and playoffs equal a recipe for drama. This race definitely delivered some of that. Briscoe timed it perfectly. He stayed clean, kept himself in contention, and then executed in the closing pack. So Gilliland and Gibbs made it very interesting towards the end as well, with their strong finishes showing younger non-championship drivers can still make some noise in the playoff round of 8. The number of lead changes and variety of drivers leading show just how chaotic Talladega is. The drafting is unforgiving. Inside, outside lanes, always flipping. Fuel, timing matter, everything, right? We know they're not pushing full tilt, trying to save fuel, but also in the draft. Tough guys, one mistake equals a huge risk of elimination. This one is essential. If you root for someone in the playoffs, this race can make or break a championship run. And for the outside pleasers, with Gilliland and Gibbs, this signals they're not just here to fill grid spots, they can actually contend. Super speedway savviness counts more than raw speed this weekend. The unpredictability was in full force. Wins by rookies in Ruggiero, domination by Hill, and strategic playoff pivot by Briscoe equal some master survival skills, which also equal podiums. You had to be smart, which is more than just being fast, staying out of wrecks, picking lanes, pushing in the right spots, timing things perfectly. The playoff implications this last weekend at Talladega were very large for trucks and Cup especially. Talladega is a playoff stretch that can define your season. So there you have it. The Talladega weekend full of trucks, Xfinity Cup, high banks, heavy hearts, big wins. Whether you're a diehard fan of one of the series or you follow across all of them, this was definitely a good weekend for their record books. So one we won't forget with all those lead changes, that's for sure. This brings us to the Cars Tour season finale. We haven't covered a lot of Cars Tour lately, which is on us, obviously. It's just a time-consuming thing, but this was their season finale and some good stuff happened. So we're wrapping the week with the grand finale of the Cars Tour at one of the short track racing's most iconic stages, North Wilkesboro. Championships clinched to breakout wins this weekend gave us everything, so let's break it down real quick. Late model stock car tour champion goes to Landon Lewis, clinched the 2025 title with a 7th place finish, wrapping up his first full season and 4 wins along the way. Side note, this win also guaranteed him some attention from a Truck Series team, and that announcement has been coming out as of late that he will run in the Truck Series next year. Winner of the finale was Caden Quapple, passed Landon Huffman on the final lap to take the checkered flag in the Crossroads Harley-Davidson 125. You also had Parker Eatman in 3rd, Connor Hall in 4th, who came into the finale chasing Lewis. Lewis didn't have to win, he just had to finish well, and he did that. That shows the hallmark of a champion, managing risk, bringing it home, and getting the job done. Meanwhile, Quapple made a dramatic last corner pass, first LMSC Tour victory, and what a statement. The youth movement in this series is definitely for real. So let's talk about the Pro Late Model Series. Champion goes to Ben Meyer. Consistent throughout the season, 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and claimed the title despite not winning the finale. Winner of the finale actually went to Keelan Harvick, the 13-year-old sensation, took his 4th PLM Tour win of the year in emphatic fashion. 2nd place goes to Luke Baldwin, locked up the owner's title for Rick Ware Racing with that finish. So congrats to them on that. Ben Meyer coming in 4th, enough to secure his driver championship. Meyer's season reminds us you don't always have to win the last race to win a championship, but you have to be consistently near the front of the field. Harvick's win is definitely pure youth talent, momentum, trailblazing. He's taken after his old man, so that's awesome to watch. The youth uprising is real over there with Quapple and Harvick. They're part of the next generation, making bold moves, taking victories on big stages. Lewis and Myers show how championships are often built on consistency and smart execution, not always a flashy win. North Wilkesboro isn't just another track. Winning here clinches titles here. I mean, it means more at that place, right? So Lewis and Kevin Harvick Inc., Meyer and Setzer Racing, the team dynamics are strong. Support networks underpin their successes. If I had to pick one moment of this, I'd say Quapple's last corner move. That's what the highlight reels are made of. But what's the narrative? Lewis's composure under pressure also stands out. He didn't make it easy for himself, but he made it count. For short track fans, this weekend is a reminder of all the elements we love: drama, strategy, talent emerging, legacies being forged. That wraps up the 2025 tours of the Cars Tour season finale. Champions have been crowned, first-time winners have been celebrated, and next-gen drivers are making some noise. Can't wait to see what their schedule is going to bring next year, so stay tuned for more of that. So let's talk about the GT World Cup, legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course for the 2025 Indianapolis 8-hour, the finale of both the Intercontinental GT Challenge and the GT World Challenge American season. And yes, gave us some drama, just like every race usually does. Gave us some weather, some strategy, a few familiar faces from the open wheel world dipping into the GT3 machinery. So let's break it down. The overall win went to the number 46 WRT BMW M4 GT3, driven by Kelvin van der Linde, Charles Wurz, and Valentino Rossi. This victory clinched the IGTC Drivers' Championship for van der Linde. The Intercontinental GT Challenge BMW took its first ever Manufacturers' Championship as well. The event was heavily impacted by weather after about 4 hours of green flag running. Lightning and heavy rain triggered a long red flag stoppage. Then the remainder of the race largely ran under caution. In the GTWC America Pro class of the number 99 BMW of Kenton Koch and Connor DeFilippi, with Connor Daly in the lineup, finished 4th overall and secured the pro title. So that's pretty awesome to see there, that he got to be a part of that, coming over from the IndyCar world. Connor Daly, that is. So let's talk about some key moments here. The race began under fairly normal conditions, with multiple teams battling up front. But then the turning point, lightning in the area after 4 hours, followed by torrential rain and standing water. That changed everything. Strategy became king. In particular, Team WRT executed a crucial move when the race resumed under caution with 1 hour and 31 minutes remaining. The number 46 pitted one lap earlier and reset its maximum stint time to 65 minutes, and thus could run the finish under caution, leapfrogging their sister car. The cameo move sealed the win. But so much of the later part of the race was under caution. Track position and strategy mattered more than the outright pace. The result was that the victory under tricky conditions felt a little more anticlimactic, no less earned. Van der Linde called it a bit of an anticlimax, even though it was a huge achievement. One of the coolest parts of the weekend, though, is drivers from the open wheel world jumping into GT3 cars for the Enduro. We had Will Power, two-time IndyCar champion and 2018 Indy 500 winner, made his first sports car start since 2003, sharing the number 75 Express Mercedes AMG with Chaz Mozart and Kenny Habul. He finished 6th overall, and while not on the podium, the performance was given the unfamiliar machinery that he was driving. Then Connor Daly, yes, the IndyCar regular, he joined the number 99 BMW Random Vandals Racing. We talked about that before, and they finished 4th overall, good enough to clinch the title in the pro class. His open wheel experience translated into endurance GT3 performance. It was one of the standout crossover stories of the weekend, and he's been good in that machine before, right? Big picture on all this is a tie-in of strategy, weather, and endurance equals unpredictability. The fact the race was cut short in terms of full green flag running laps means the teams had to adapt quickly, and those who did gained massive rewards. So for open wheel fans, seeing IndyCar drivers show up at this type of event broadens their portfolio and gives cross-discipline appeal. It also speaks to their adaptability and competitiveness beyond single-seaters. Pretty awesome to see that venue and the IndyCar heritage there at the IMS road course. Helps build sport exposure, that's for sure, and track we all love to see. Let's move over to the USAC National Sprint Series. Weekend's USAC National Sprint Car action delivered exactly what we came for. Records broken, domination, new wins, and unfamiliar territory. So let's tear into it real quick. At Kansas and Texas, Friday night's race, champion-elect Kyle Cummins showed he's still hunting, picking up his 10th win of the season at Dodge City Raceway Park. Cummins led early, slid back, then pounced on the rival, got tangled in lap traffic, and led a final 22 laps to seal the victory. That win broke some records as Cummins set a new single-season record of top 10 finishes in 42 and tied the record for most top 5s in 36 in a USAC national season. The result pushed his point lead out 378 with 3 races remaining. We had Briggs Danner also coming in second, Kevin Thomas Jr. in third. The night also featured a new track record in qualifying when Jake Swanson blasted a 14.963 at Dodge City. Cummins is now crowned champion. He didn't coast, he attacked. Even when the pressure was off, he locked in and ran hard, and that's not finishing early, that's domination. The rest of the field better recognize he's still hunting wins, even though he's already been designated the champion. Then let's go to Texas. The series made its debut visit to Amarillo's 3/8 mile oval. The mark was made. Jake Swanson sealed his first USAC National Sprint Car victory, picking up a $10,000 prize for that win. For Swanson and the Damning Swanson Motorsports team, this was an emotional one. They stepped up to national level competition and delivered in a big way. The weekend couldn't have been more different from the first. A fresh venue, a fresh winner, fresh energy for the series, expanding into new tracks and new faces. Winning keeps the momentum strong. For Swanson, this is his coming out moment in the series. Even after locking up the title, though, Cummins didn't dial back. That tells you everything about his mindset. breaking the record for the most top 10s and top 5 wins in a season. Cummins pushes the envelope every time. And honestly, the exposure depth of field on this place, with multiple drivers scoring wins, setting records, challenging the record books. I mean, USAC National Sprints continues to stack the talent, and dirt sprint car fans love new tracks and fresh layouts. So that brings the series to unconventional venues and keeps it all up. The weekend zipped by like a 360 car on a half-mile track, fast, furious, and full momentum. He's clearly untouchable this season. But the real story I loved was Swanson's breakthrough in Texas. That kind of win shakes up the narrative. Yes, champion is dominant. Yes, records are falling, but the next challenger is coming. If I were betting on a driver to watch besides Cummins, Swanson might be the one. All right, and that takes us to another finale. We also had the High Limit Series ending their schedule this last weekend. The Kubota All-In Championship weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. Stakes were very sky high on this one, so let's dive into the drama real quick on that. Texas Motor Speedway, under the lights of the high stakes weekend, Rico Abreu won the feature race and clinched the 2025 championship in spectacular fashion. Abreu started from the outside of the pole, led all 30 laps of the feature. For winning the title, he secured a massive check at $250,000, etched his name into the high limit history books. His win also marked 12th victory of the season in the series and his 20th overall for the year across events. It wasn't just racing, he controlled the race. From green flag, he grabbed the lead. He didn't relinquish it. In a field of top-tier sprint car talent, that's no small feat. He navigated through lap traffic, multiple close calls, and standard sprint car mayhem, the kind of composure you'd expect from a champion. His team kept the machine dialed in, and he executed. The title fight on this one, it came down to this: win at the finale or leave it to chance. Abreu chose to win. He didn't wait for others to falter. He made his mark. The tenacity, the payout, the glory, and the history. This was the win the race plus win the title combo. That rarely happens, and when it does, it's definitely a golden moment. Abreu's dominance this season with 20 wins, 12 on this tour alone, clinching the title with a feature win, cements him as a driver to beat moving into 2026. The High Limit Series is growing in stature, stakes, and spotlight with the finale. Delivering this kind of dramatic finish, it fuels momentum for the series and everyone involved. For the other contenders, this weekend highlighted that you don't just show up, you've got to finish. The margin for error shrinks when the payout and prestige rise. For fans and competitors alike, expect the bar to be even higher next year. The champion was crowned. Now the chase resets. If I were to choose one word to pick this weekend to describe it, I'd say dominance, not just in speed, not just in clutch performance, but Abreu didn't leave the championship to hope. He made it unavoidable. He was going to get that championship. Watching him lead every lap, knowing what was on the line, this kind of script you don't expect, you hope for, and when you get it, it's very special. So whoever wants to challenge him now, they've got to get up to their game because the champion proved that he's got the blueprint to win. So that's the wrap on the High Limit Series for the 2025 season. Champion crowned in style. Season is in the books, and the momentum that reminded us exactly why we love sprint car racing. Speaking of sprint car racing, let's jump over to the World of Outlaws. We're wrapping this weekend up with Thunderous Roar and Dust in the Outlaws, two big nights, Angel Park and Lincoln Park. Two winners, two statements, so let's break it on down. Angel Park Speedway in Wisconsin, Sheldon Haudenschild walked away 5-lap feature winner, fending off contender Emerson Axum to grab the win. Haudenschild held the lead in the closing laps despite heavy pressure and the short track chaos of Angel Park's tight third-mile surface. Staying clean and crisp in a pack is no small feat. Takeaway at that track at Angel Park, where traffic comes fast and braking zones deepen. Survival plus speed equals victory. Haudenschild delivered both. This brings us over to Indiana at Lincoln Park Speedway, where we saw David Gravel take the checkered flag after contact with Buddy Kofoid in the closing laps, sealing the win at Lincoln Park. Gravel's win came amidst physical racing, contact drafts, and split-second decisions. Kofoid's offensive move opened the door and Gravel walked right through it. When the fences are tight and the margins move in inches, the experience and composure matter, and Gravel definitely showed both. Haudenschild and Gravel securing big wins at critical late season stops. That momentum can carry forward stretch into a run. Competition remains sharp with these results. The field knows the bar is moving. Wins like these force others to up their game and risk being left behind. Honestly, the overall highlight on this one is Haudenschild's ability to keep composure at Angel Park despite every lap feeling like a freight train in traffic. And Gravel, his win at Lincoln Park showed you can't just be fast. You've got to be smart under pressure as well. So these were two nights you want to dig into again for sure. For drivers chasing the title, this kind of racing can flip the script. And that covers pretty much all the racing we wanted to talk about for the recaps this week. As always, please like, share, subscribe, hit that rate button, thumbs up on YouTube, whatever the case may be. Share it with somebody who you feel like would also enjoy racing podcasts. And yeah, we're available everywhere. So just wanted to share that and thank those who have been sharing. We definitely appreciate it. In today's news lap, we've got a major shift in the motorsports broadcast world, big enough to change where you watch your races. So let's get into it. Here's the headline for this one. Starting in 2026, Apple TV will become the exclusive U.S. broadcaster for Formula One. This means all sessions, practices, qualifying, sprint races, Grand Prix themselves will be streamed via Apple TV in the United States. This replaces the current deal with ESPN, whose contract runs through the 2025 season. So what's the price tag on this? Well, while neither party has officially released every detail, multiple sources indicate the figure around $140 million per year, which significantly tops ESPN's prior estimated $90 million annual deal. Initially, rumors suggested Apple might be bidding in the $150 million range, even up to $200 million for the streaming rights. So what does this mean for the US fans? Streaming, and more streaming. The races will be available on Apple TV starting 2026. Not just big race, but all the weekend sessions, as we mentioned. Some free access. Apple will make some races and all practice sessions available for free through Apple TV app. No subscription required. Traditional cable is fading away. The deal suggests fewer of the linear TV broadcast cable networks and a strong push towards streaming only. Bundling F1 content in the Apple ecosystem. Apple isn't just streaming the races, they're integrating F1 content into Apple News, Apple Maps, Music, Fitness, the Apple Sports app, featuring live updates, leaderboards, widgets, all that good stuff. So what about F1's own streaming service? Well, the series service, F1 TV, will continue to exist in the US, but under this deal, it will be available only via Apple TV subscription, i.e. it's bundled together, right? Why does this move make sense? Well, F1's US popularity is growing thanks to shows like Drive to Survive and increased race locations in Miami, Austin, Vegas. The American fan base is expanding. Apple wants that sports angle, with live sports being one of the strongest retention magnets for streaming platforms. Apple is building out its sports center portfolio. They've already got MLS over there, MLB. F1 adds high-velocity global sport into the mix, and we're talking cross-platform integration. Apple sees value beyond just the race broadcast. They're going in with data feeds, interactive widgets, second screen experiences, tie-ins across their ecosystem. That helps from the traditional sports broadcasters area, right? So if you rely on cable TV only, you'll need to shift your setup. Streaming via Apple TV becomes the main way to watch F1. Cost on that one's about $12.99 a month in the US. While F1 content is included, this could still cost more for fans used to cheaper or free options. Free access is going to be pretty limited. Only some races and practice sessions will be free. The main events likely requiring a subscription. So it's a change in habit. Longtime fans used to ESPN or linear broadcasts might need to adapt, but the trade-off may be more flexible and might have more interactivity for it. So I think it's a smart move for Formula One in the US. It captures the energy of the sport on the rise and gives it a platform that's ready for digital-first fans. For the younger viewers, mobile viewers, international viewers, this is where they live. I know personally I stream 99% of the races I watch, whether it be on a DVR-type system or another app. It's just great to have the access online like that. On the flip side, it does raise questions about accessibility, cost for streaming only, and all that. As an Apple TV user personally, it doesn't bother me one bit, but for a sport that wants to engage younger audiences and build long-term growth in America, this does feel like the right bet, but it could push out some of the older fans. Now, granted, a lot of these people are already big into the F1 TV, so not a whole lot will change for them there. Right, let's cover a little bit of NASCAR news while we're here. Big news in the truck series space is Kaulig Racing has announced a younger gun who's ready to step into the spotlight. Brenden Butterbean Queen is joining them for the 2026 Truck Series full-time. Here's what we know. Kaulig has made Queen their first full-time driver for their upcoming 5-truck effort in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in 2026, a campaign run in partnership with the Ram Truck. Queen is a 27-year-old from Chesapeake, Virginia, who just wrapped up dominant season in the ARCA Menard Series. He scored 8 wins and 17 top 5 finishes in just 20 races to capture the 2025 AMS title. He's also recently had some taste in the NASCAR's National Series, 2 starts in the number 11 Xfinity car this year, including a top 10 finish at Kansas. And he also is a Cars Tour champion prior to coming over to ARCA. So another just champion move. This kid's on the run. New team, big ambition. KR is debuting in the Truck Series at 2026. as a flagship team for Ram's return to the series. This isn't a one-off. They'll field up to 5 trucks. Queen being the first name announced tells you they want impact right away. Queen isn't a veteran knocking about. He's a rising star making waves in grassroots levels and ARCA levels. His jump to full-time truck ride marks a major step in his career. For Ram and the KR team, this is more than just adding a new driver. It's about brand presence in the truck series, attracting new fans, and building momentum for 2026. Queen's full-time truck debut is scheduled for the season opener at Daytona. KR still hasn't announced Queen's truck number, primary sponsors, or his teammates, as this is supposed to be a 5-truck lineup. Those deals are to come still. Keep an eye on how Queen adapts to the truck series. With the different aerodynamics, weight distribution, and race strategy compared to ARCA or Xfinity, his performance will signal how well KR's program is set up. Manufacturer battle is going to heat up with Ram's return, means more competition in a field that's used to Fords, Chevys, and Toyotas are ultimately dominant right now. That could shift dynamics across the board. I love this. Having a young, hungry driver like Queen step up to a big-time truck ride adds a lot of excitement. He's got momentum, he's got talent, and Kaulig is giving him a real shot. That combo, it has a beautiful breakout season written all over it if everything clicks right. On the flip side of that, though, the leap to trucks is no easy task. Competition is fierce, the races are rough, and the team's first season is always going to have some growing pains to it, right? But if anyone's up for it, Queen definitely is. With the KR and Ram team, it looks like a solid bet for 2026. While we're in the NASCAR world, let's talk about the Spire Motorsports number 7 car lineup. We've got a major shakeup at Spire Motorsports. It signals a fresh chapter and big expectations. So let's talk about this driver swap. Justin Haley's departing and Daniel Suárez is stepping into the seat for 2026. Spire Motorsports announced that Justin Haley will part ways with the team after the 2025 season. Didn't take long, about a week, and it was confirmed that Daniel Suárez will drive the number 7 car in 2026. Replacing Haley, Suárez is leaving Trackhouse Racing after 5 years, bringing with him full-time Cup experience and a proven track record. Haley has driven that number 7 for Spire for the 2025 season, but the team's leadership has publicly acknowledged the performance was below expectations. It's no secret that Justin and the team just have not performed up to the expectations we've set forth, said Jeff Dickerson, Spire co-owner. This season, Haley sat 31st in Cup Series standings with only 2 top 10s. Haley's career includes a surprise win at Daytona in 2019 when he was with Spire then, and cumulative starts across Cup, Xfinity, and trucks numbering 338. So that's pretty awesome. A lot of starts there, but yeah, just haven't seen the results. Suárez, aged 33, became the first international driver to win a major NASCAR series when he took the 2016 Xfinity Series title. In the Cup Series, he has 2 wins and around 74 top 10 finishes in more than 300 starts. His departure from Trackhouse was described as a mutual decision. So why does all this matter? At the end of the day, for Spire, bringing in Suárez signals the team wants to move up in the standings, bringing veteran leadership, and perhaps take a next step from being a mid-pack player. Suárez brings a known quality to the team and a known experience level to the team. For Justin Haley, this marks the end of his run in the number 7 car and likely the start of a new opportunity. For the number 7 car, this swap resets expectations with Suárez behind the wheel. Spire will hope to accelerate progress and get some stronger results in the field, honestly, especially on the season point side of things. This is just part of the broader silly season shift over there in Cup Series. Drivers moving around, teams repositioning, and performance pressures realigning. This is my personal opinion, a smart move by Spire. Haley has shown flashes, but the team clearly decided that they needed to change to reach the next level. Suárez offers that experience, and really landing at Spire gives him a lifeline through a chance to reestablish himself in Cup. And welcome back. This is our history segment of the show where we celebrate the stories, stats, and standout moments that made motorsports history roar to life. Today we're heading to Sao Paulo, Brazil, home of samba, sunshine, and one of Formula One's most determined and beloved racers, Felipe Massa. That's right, the man who came this close to being world champion in 2008. Buckle up because this one's a mix of heartbreak, heroics, and pure horsepower. Felipe Massa was born April 25th, 1981 in Sao Paulo. Like so many greats, he got his start at karting in the age of 8. By the time most kids were still figuring out their school homework, Massa was already collecting trophies. He climbed the ranks very quickly, from Formula Chevrolet Brazil to Formula Renault, where he dominated, winning 11 of 15 races in the 2000 season. That caught Ferrari's attention, and when Ferrari notices you, you're doing something right. By 2002, Massa was in Formula One with Sauber, making his debut at just 21 years old. He was fiery, fast, and sometimes a little too wild, earning a few early penalties, but his raw speed was undeniable. In 2003, Ferrari picked up Massa as a test driver, giving him a front row seat to the Schumacher era, and that experience definitely refined him. When he came back to Sauber and then joined Ferrari full-time in 2006, he was a different driver, smarter, sharper, and more complete. Then came the magic. Felipe Massa won his first Grand Prix at Turkey in 2006, starting a love affair with that circuit. He'd go on to win it 3 times in a row, a track specialist before it was cool to be one. But it was 2008 that defined him, the Brazilian Grand Prix. That year remains one of the most dramatic races in Formula One history. Massa crossed the line in first, in front of the home crowd, believing he was world champion. His family was celebrating. The grandstands was electric, then heartbreak. Just seconds later, Lewis Hamilton overtook Timo Glock on the final corner to take 5th place in the championship by 1 single point. Just 1 point. Massa handled it with incredible dignity, famously saying, "You have to be proud of what you've done." That sportsmanship made the world love him even more. In 2009, Felipe's career almost ended in tragedy during qualifying at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He was struck on the helmet by a suspension spring that flew off Ruben Barrichello's car, and it was a terrifying accident. Massa suffered a skull fracture and was out the rest of the season, but true to form, he came back fighting. By 2010, he was back in the Ferrari seat, racing again at the top level. While he never quite reached the same highlights as before, Massa was consistently strong, the ultimate team player, always giving everything on the track. After Ferrari, Massa joined Williams in 2014, right as the turbo hybrid era kicked off. He scored several podiums, helped Williams climb back to the front of the grid, and even bagged a pole position in Austria in 2014, becoming the first Brazilian to do so since Ayrton Senna in 1994. He officially retired in 2017, finishing his F1 career with 269 Grand Prix starts, 11 wins, 16 pole positions, 41 podiums, and over 1,000 career points. Not bad for a kid from Sao Paulo who started with a go-kart and a dream. Some fun facts about Massa is he's a massive football fan, especially of Corinthians, his hometown club. He named his son Felipe Jr., who's now following his dad's racing footsteps. In 2008, he became the first Brazilian to win at Interlagos since Ayrton Senna did in 1993. After Formula One, Massa competed in Formula E with Venturi and in Stock Car Brazil, proving that his passion for racing never really cooled down. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. In the 2008 season, Massa led more laps than any other driver. That title slipped away by 1 single point. Talk about a brutal hit to him and the team there. But ask any F1 fan and they'll tell you Felipe Massa may not have had a world championship trophy, but he's forever a champion in the hearts of the fans. That's the story of Felipe Massa, a racer defined by speed, skill, and spirit. A reminder that sometimes greatness isn't about silverware, it's about the way you handle defeat, dust yourself off, and come back together stronger. And for us, we just want to thank you for tuning in today at Historic Hot Laps. If you enjoyed the story, share with your fellow race fans again, and stay tuned for our next episode where we'll take another spin through some motorsports history. Until next time, keep it fast, keep it fun, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in.